Hello, I'm Elaine Stevens, and I want to welcome you to Art Beat. Welcome to the Abbey Road Art Club right here in Pass Christian, Mississippi. That's where Art Beat is taking you this week. You're going to be meeting Jennifer Coogins, who's an amazing artist, but she's got a lot more going on in her life than just her own canvases. So do stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome to Art Beat and welcome to the wonderful and colorful world of Jennifer Coogins. Jennifer, this studio is amazing. It's filled with child art and toys and filled with color, but I'm mostly enchanted by the work that you do as an artist. How long have you been doing this?
Thank you. I've been painting with acrylics and canvas since high school. A little bit after high school is when I started. I think I painted for about 12 years before I actually showed anybody.
Did you really? So yeah, 12 years from that moment in high school?
I piled them up in my closet, and when I met my husband, I was at work one day, and he took my paintings to a gallery and consigned them without telling me.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No, and about a week later, the gallery called and said, you know, we sold one of your paintings, and I said, not my painting. Mine are in the closet. But no, he had. So I'd sold 6 the first month that I put, 6 frogs actually.
Wow,
yeah.
No wonder the philosophy of we are all artists, as we said earlier. Now, where did that philosophy come from? Obviously, that moment was indicative of that, but...
I think Pablo Picasso. It was a famous quote by him, and it's just something that's always stuck with me. And when I'm talking about teaching class, instructing children or adults, anytime anyone shows any little bit of scaredness, maybe I can't do that, I refer to that. It just pops back in my head, and I just say it to them, and it usually puts them over the line. It usually puts them in class and gets them started.
It gets them started,
yeah, it
doesn't
gets them started.
It gives them hope. Gives them hope. Well, very quickly, when we first walked in, of course, I noticed this, and I was completely drawn to the animal to the far right of the painting. Can you tell me a little bit about the subject matter here? Because it differs, as we will see in a moment, from the others.
This one is called the oil field, and it's kind of my view of watching my husband work in the oil field for the last 10 years.
Fascinating.
This is my husband here.
Okay.
This represents a piece of metal that he brought back from the rig, and I just kind of paint it like an ocean. It's just a little bit, it just tells the story of the last 10 years. The monkey here represents me and my son and my husband. Gosh, and the Marines that were affected by the war. With the oil.
It's very unusual, though, because you know you indicate the oil rig and the work that he does, and yet we have a home atmosphere here, and we're gazing out a window. So it's almost like his home away from this home.
It is. It is.
Absolutely.
He's there more than he is here. Yeah.
So.
And those curtains are the curtains that were in my bedroom for years that I looked through. Kind of waiting for him to come home. They were purple, and that's kind of where that came from.
I love that. So what medium do you use?
Acrylic mostly. Now this is mixed media. I think there's 6 different kinds of paint on there. I like the texture.
Kinds of paints.
Yeah,
okay. I love the colors.
Texture, I love texture.
Now here in Art Beat, we've often talked about how the artist caresses their work. We started with that when the show first aired almost 2 years ago now.
Wow.
And it amazes me because you just did exactly that. And most of us have been taught when we go to galleries not to touch the work.
Mine were meant to be touched.
But yours were meant to be, and all my artists say that, and they're my artists. You're now one of my artists.
Great.
Well, let's take a little stroll down here because the others have more of a female subject matter, and obviously they're you.
They are.
They are. And the one behind you there, well, tell me a little bit about this.
That one is called Escaping, and it's acrylic, just the one medium, and I think that it was just indicative of some personal problems I was going through in life, and it just it helps to get them out on canvas. So it's kind of a moving on process.
I love it because it has a real nostalgic feel in that it reminds me of the 60s with the swirly things. You know, I really love that. But I also love the way you did the glitter. So usually when you're down, you don't show any kind of sparkle like that, but it looks like you had that little bit of hope coming through. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all hope. I love to touch it. It's all very bumpy.
I love it. So now this one, we don't see your face here, but we do see another character, and several actually, in this one.
This is actually a memory from Bourbon Street in New Orleans, and the music and how it affected me Now over there, they don't have a lot of musicians playing because of the new laws they have in
That's
Bourbon
right.
Street. And this was a couple months ago, and after watching the news and seeing how they were stopping the musicians, I just kind of had a flashback of the last time I was there, and how you just kind of get drawn into it.
You do. I love that. I love the perspective that you used. You know, it has, like we're looking at it from this direction and going into a long tube of music almost, of music and sound. Well, and this one was a little frightening to me when I first saw it, but is she having a nightmare by chance?
This one's called Timing. It just kind of represents a million things that were happening in my life at the same time, and I painted this about, not long ago, about 3 months ago, maybe
Really?
3 or 4 months ago. There was just so much going on. This is my daughter and my husband and my son, me. They were coming and going all at the same time, and it just
a lot
it just came
of
together.
activity and
so much going on.
So much.
Yeah.
Well, we all can
Busy
relate
life.
to that. And this one, we talked earlier about this one. You called it anxiety.
Yeah.
So
That's how I feel sometimes when I feel anxious, or when you feel like you're on the verge of an anxiety attack, maybe kind of like you're falling. You just feel like you're falling.
well, that's very true.
Yeah.
And we can all relate to that, obviously. And of course, the gargoyles are somewhat spiritual creatures that welcome you into a home.
Right, and they help to guard, supposedly, help
Yeah.
to guard bad spirits away from your front door, and that's where he's normally hung, right by my front door.
Well, and the lady in the red dress here.
That is Homeland Return. I painted that right after we came home from Hurricane Katrina, after
Oh,
evacuating, and it kind of, it was just surprising to me that almost everything on the beach was gone but the lighthouse. And no matter what storms happen, no matter what, you can always find a marker, you know, to tell. You really couldn't tell what the coast was if the lighthouse hadn't been there, and that just.
Well, I'm
kinda,
drawn to the red.
Yeah.
That's a color that I mean, it obviously is a color that indicates power. So you felt very powerful about coming back home.
Yeah.
And withstanding whatever was going on.
Exactly, and being able to see that the coast was still there. That was
And
nice.
yet it's very feminine and very graceful. I love that. Okay, I think we'll go over here. Now, we were talking about how realistic some of your work is. And these are completely different aside from this one, which let's talk about this one very quickly before we go to the more realistic types. And this, again, this is passion and love.
It is. It's called Guilt and Judgment. And
Guilt and Judgment.
In Judgment, yeah.
Okay.
Guilt and Judgment, and that's me and my husband. And I painted that after an argument.
After an argument. Wouldn't it be nice
Yeah.
to be able to just get that out with a brush stroke and not have to say any words?
It is very nice, very nice.
Absolutely.
But he's not here always, so sometimes I just paint it out.
Well, you're very talented. Now, I see the frogs, obviously, part of our culture down here, part of our environment, and a healthy one at that. When they come out and they make that wonderful sound, we know that our environment's in a normal way. So when did you paint these?
I started painting the frogs in 2000, and they just make me laugh. The first one I saw, I laughed. I just fell out laughing, his big red eyes, and my husband said, you have to paint it. And I thought, I don't really paint anything like that. So I started, and I think I've painted more frogs now than any other subject I've done. They go really well in galleries. So
They do, and they're a symbol of good luck.
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that part.
they are.
Oh, yeah.
I personally don't care for them because I'm absolutely terrified of frogs, but, you know.
They won't hurt
I
you.
love what you did with them. In fact, his little red shining eyes are very appealing.
And I try to do these with mixed media too, so you can feel the texture, like of his eyes. It's a
Somewhat
lot bigger and
Kermit-like.
stuff,
Yeah, they very are. Now, what is this?
This is called The Hunt, and that is a picture of an elephant looking through the brush.
An elephant looking,
Yeah.
I can see the eyes have such
Real
depth.
close
Oh,
up.
I see that now.
You see?
But it has, I feel almost like there's a tree, the life of a tree in there as well.
You know, a lot of people have said that. They say he looks like a
Yeah.
tree. Usually, 99% of the time, the men say, wow, an elephant, and the women say, wow, a tree.
Isn't
a
that
tree with an
amazing?
eye.
I
And
wonder what that is.
Every time, almost every time.
And both are
Definitely.
symbols of longevity.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
are symbols of life. Well, let's take a look at these on this table here, shall we? I'm seeing a lot of nature study here, so tell me about this one.
This one's called Path Distraction. And I really am not sure what to say about it a whole lot. It wasn't a planned out picture at all. It was actually, it was going to be tulips to begin with. I was painting a picture for my mom. And I think the mood just took me to that. And I'm still not really completely able to explain it. Like I said,
Wow.
it was going to be a tulip, but it just
And
came
I love
out.
this one. I think this is absolutely lovely.
That's one of my favorites, actually. That's called Fainting for Lunch. And
fainting as in fainting?
Fainting for lunch, yes. And that was, you know, one of those down mood times where it's just easier to get it out. And once I get it out and I can see it visually, I just feel better.
Well, with all this around you now, tell me, what is your favorite?
My favorite picture.
Do you have a favorite one?
It would have to be that one.
That one over there?
That's called Escaping.
The one on the table, the large with the purple strokes. And what do we call that?
That one is Escaping 2.
Okay.
And there's
so this
a
is
series.
Like a diptych, a series.
Yeah, this is number 1, Escaping 1, Escaping 2, and Escaping 3 is in the house, and it's not done yet.
Well, there are many moods, as you can see, to Jennifer Coogins, and as tiny as you are, there's a lot of energy there. And mother, wife, artist, teacher, and we're going to hear about her teaching right after this short break, so do stay with us. Welcome back to Art Beat. In case you have just joined us, my guest today is Jennifer Coogins, and she is multifaceted. It's so fascinating to meet artists that have so much going on, and here we are in front of her studio, really for the children, more or less, and her little friend Gretchen. Say hi, Gretchen. At any rate, no, I call her Gretchen, you call her Scratchy.
Gretchen's good, she answers anything.
Okay, Gretchen Scratchy, that's good, okay, fine. Well, the children must delight in this whole place.
They love it, and I think they love the stage the most.
They love the stage, and you said that they're making movies, they're doing magic shows. Tell us a little bit about everything that they do when they're here with you.
Okay, on Saturdays we have classes, 2 classes, they're each 3 hours long. Kids come from ages 5 through 12. Right now it's mostly the younger kids, like 5 through 8. Each Saturday we do a painting project. We do 30 minutes of creative freedom time where they get their boxes and supplies and they get to do anything they want, which is usually stage time.
Any kind of painting that they want?
Anything in their box, painting, sculpting, drawing, anything that they enjoy for 30 minutes. And in the last hour of each class we learn a new craft project, whether it's candle making or jewelry, gosh, everything, pastels, painting, sculpting. If you can think of it, we've done it.
And do you have an assistant that works with you, or are you
Sabrina Gross.
Okay.
Yeah, she's my sister, and she's been helping me since we opened day 1 in June of '08.
Now, how do people enroll their children with you?
A lot of times they go to the website, abbeyroadartclub.com.
abbeyroadartclub.com. Okay.
Yeah, or they call. It's real easy. We have a drop-off program too. Okay. Where they can drop them off on Saturdays or enroll for 1 class, or they can enroll, for as many classes as they want. But the main thing is there's no real dedication. They can come and go as they please. Most of the students that we have now have been coming since the day we opened 2 years ago. So I'm really proud of that.
What
so
a creative atmosphere. I mean, it's just absolutely brimming with creativity. Now, of course, I'm fascinated by this digital movie that you said that you had made with the children.
Well, we let the children vote. When I buy a few different Scholastic, and they pretty much vote on every project we do. It's a democracy here, totally. We get a Scholastic book and let them vote. See, the last time we did it, it was The Haunted School. So all the children took the book home, read it, came back the next Saturday, and we just kind of acted it out. And it's very relaxed. We don't, it takes us 3 hours to make it. The kids get to do their own props. They make their own costumes. Yeah, and we just a little bit at a time. And they turn out to be about 12-minute movies. But we've done 3 since we've opened. So and they're all on the website.
I know that as a teacher, you're teaching them, but it's obvious that you're learning something about yourself. And
every day.
What is it that you are learning through these children and their wonderment?
That I'm capable. That I'm capable of teaching.
That I can do this.
Exactly. And I've never taken an art class in my life, ever. And
excuse me, you just said that you have never taken an art class.
Not even in school, not high school,
Unbelievable.
Anything, ever. And I've just always been really good with children and always really good at art. And I thought, well, let me do something with my life where I can put those 2 things together. And at first I was so nervous. Well, are they going to learn? Or, but now 2.5 years later, I find that I'm running out of time with them. I don't have enough time to teach them what I want to tell them on Saturdays. That 3 hours is not enough. And could y'all start coming twice a week maybe, So the nervous just went to being overflowed,
So do you have a child or more than one child that comes to you and says, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life?
Actually, we do, and that kind of gave me chill bumps when you said that. We have a couple kids that come in that are really, really focused at ages 8, 10, 12 years old, yeah, and that makes me feel good, that I'm helping to project them along with something they want to do in life. And it's not just a pastime, and for some kids it is. Sometimes it's just playtime, but there are those kids that are serious, and they come here on Saturdays and say, I really just want to paint. you know, or I want to be a sculptor the rest of my life. So instead of Saturdays, they come during the week and we do private one-on-one classes with them, or I do.
Wow.
So they get to go in whatever direction they want to go to, and they basically come on Saturdays, kind of get a feel for the club and what we do, and get to go through each medium until they figure out what it is, which medium they want to run with.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
what do you feel is the most popular among the children?
Sculpting.
Sculpting with the clay.
With the clay, that's almost...
is that because it's so tactile and they love to really...
Yeah, the hands-on. They like to get messy.
Yeah.
Plaster's another one. We did plaster Saturday for Halloween decorations, and they just love to get messy. And it's okay. This is an environment where you can throw it on the floor, and they each have their own art club shirt, and they can just get it as dirty as they want.
Neat,
we squirt paint all over them or rub your hands on them. We never need a towel.
And Mom's not around, and she doesn't say, please don't do that.
And the shirt says, this shirt is supposed to get messy. Leave me alone. That way they're encouraged to get messy. Fabulous. They know it's okay. Some kids, it takes a few classes before they'll put paint on their shirt, but after that, they're in it. Yeah.
You know, so it's like breaking the rules that you are growing up with, you know,
exactly.
And you're able to do this here in the world of Jennifer Coogins. So, and how did you come up with a name for your studio?
Our road is Abbey Road,
right.
But the club part, it's a class, but it's so much more than a class. And I didn't want to call it a class or academy. It's a club, and we work together. And like I said, the kids vote. They get to vote, you know, at least once a month, one Saturday a month, they vote on everything we do.
Now, when you say they vote, you mean they vote on the type of activity that you're going to undertake at that time?
Yeah. Well, I come to them maybe one day and say, we're doing watercolors today. What do you guys want to paint? What's the subject? Y'all get together and let me know. They'll collaborate and get together and say, Miss Jennifer, today we're doing the Taj Mahal.
Do we ever have a war? Yeah. Do we have a conflict ever?
Actually, we haven't. I don't think we've had one argument in this building in the 2 years we've been open. Not from we're so busy, not from the children or adults.
Yeah. Well, that speaks very highly of your spirit and your inspiration to them.
Thank you.
How would you tell parents to continue this type of work with their children now that you've begun it? Yeah.
It's so easy. It's just as simple as stopping at the store and picking up a pack of crayons on a road trip, or getting a little box of sculpting clay for Saturdays on rainy days, or it's Friday night, they don't want to go to sleep, give them a little clay. You know, something creative. And it doesn't take much for the parents to get into it and continue it. I mean, it's, you know, and it could be just as simple as watching them draw and saying, good job.
Absolutely, and interpreting their work together and learning about how your child is feeling, too, while you're doing all that.
No, we do that a lot, too. We have days where we had an 8-year-old, for instance, a couple weeks ago, came in, and he was not in the mood to do anything. And he had a bad morning, which we all do. So I told him, you know, how are you feeling today? He said, I don't want to paint, I don't want to do anything. So I got him some paint, I set him at a table by himself, and I said, sweetie, why don't you just put the colors down? You don't have to paint a picture, you don't have to draw, you don't have to think. Put the colors down the way you're feeling them. And he did that the first hour of the class while we did what we were doing, because that's what he needed to do right then. And it turned out to be one of his mom's favorite paintings. She took it to Michael's and had it framed and put behind glass, and it was really good for him. It made him feel good. And when his mom walked through the door, I said, now tell your mom what that means. And she was like, what is that? And he said, well, this represents how I feel today, and I feel disorientated. And she was just in tears. She was like,
that's
8 years old, just totally saying, this is how I feel today. You know, it felt good.
Now, you know, I know that you're a teacher and you are an artist in your own right, and of course we're going to be looking at a remarkable website in our next segment, but who would you say the real Jennifer Coogins is?
Oh, wow, that's a hard question.
It is a hard question.
It is. I think I'm Jennifer, the family person.
Yeah, because the children that you teach are probably part of your extended family.
I call them my kids. My kids are coming Saturday, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think that I'm a family-orientated person, real calm.
Well, we ought to mention that we are in Pass Christian, Mississippi, on Abbey Road, and that you welcome students from all over the coast, I would assume.
We have a student right now driving from Gaucher every Saturday.
From Gaucher,
we have one from Diamond Head. We have one that comes down from Hattiesburg once a month. Yeah, so they come from all over.
From all over. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back with Jennifer's website, a website that she has started to help other artists showcase their work. Stay with us. Well, you're looking at the Gulf Coast Art Directory on GooginsGallery.com, and this is another creation of Jennifer Coogins. How long has the website been up and running?
About 2.5 years. It was the end of '07 when I started it. Originally, I started it as a personal portfolio for myself. It was about 2 pages, just for my art. And over the years, it's just kind of evolved. I've slowly added a little bit at a time until I'm up to about 103 pages right now.
103 pages, and on those pages are?
Well, it's basically set up into 3 different sections. I have a section for the news and events.
Can you show us that?
Right here. And we have several different articles written by 2 different artists. Every month we have new stuff on there.
That's fantastic.
A lot of our news and events is user-submitted. Artists and art lovers, they can go online to our website and add news themselves. If they have an upcoming show or an event or a particular anything art-related, they can go on there and add it for free.
So once again, what is the address of the...
Cooginsgallery.com.
Cooginsgallery.com, and so you can learn a lot about a lot of the different artists here in South Mississippi. And how do they get onto the website? Do they contact you first, or what happens?
Actually, you just go to the website, you pick the page, we have an artist index, you can add your name and art there, you can add your information to news and events, and we also have a resource page for artists, kind of like online art contest, places where artists can display their art for free, just anything that can help an artist get their art out there, that would be on our resources.
Now, is there a way to purchase art?
Online, not actually through our site. We have a online portfolio gallery of different artists. Now they display all of their art. You just have to contact the artist directly. On a lot of their pages, it'll say this particular painting's displayed at such and such gallery. So you can basically find all the information on the site.
So it actually tells them where they can purchase it.
You can tell them where each.
You know, that's such a generous aspect of giving back to the community, giving back to the artists. A lot of artists are a tad withholding and a little bit more private into their own work. So how did you come up with this whole idea?
There's enough for everybody. I
love
think,
that.
You know what I mean?
We're all artists.
We are all artists, and who am I to monopolize?
Absolutely.
And I've never really spent a lot of time pushing my own art, to be honest with you. I'm not working with any galleries right now because I'm so busy with the site and the club, but we're such just a deep art community on the coast, in every city all the way down. You can't find an area where it's not filled with galleries or artistic events. And I think that collectively, my goal with the site is to advertise the artists on the coast as a whole to the rest of the country.
That's a fantastic idea.
I really think that we have a really unique type of art down here. And although everybody's different, everybody has their uniqueness, I think as a whole we have a real generalized Gulf Coast kind of theme with our art.
So you're the webmaster. So how many hours a week do you have to spend on this one?
Maybe, if my husband's offshore, about 10 hours a day. If he's home, I might get an hour in. But when he's gone for a month, it's about 10 hours a day. And most of that's researching. I'll go online, I'll talk to people and find the upcoming events, or what gallery. I'll call all the galleries and say, you have any events this week? Or you have any gallery showings, new artists? And through that research, I put it on the website, in addition to the user-submitted resources and news and events. But I'd say 90% of the site is researched by me.
And of course, after today, she's going to have Artbeat on there, aren't you?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Absolutely.
On the front page.
Well, so the artists don't have to actually call you. They just have to go on the website and actually load up their own information then.
Yeah, there's a little form. You just click on it, ask your name, everything I need to know, and then you hit send and you're done. And to get onto our index, we have 366 artists on our Gulf Coast index right now, and that's free. You can go on there and add your name, your information, your website, a picture of your art, and like I said, I promote that through our newsletters and our online communities, and a little bit of outside advertising with Gulf Coast Women right now. We're doing a lot of advertising, but mostly through our newsletter.
Well, now, how do you think that this is unique to what you're doing here in Pass Christian, Mississippi? Is it being done anyplace else?
Not that I know of, and it wasn't something I intended to do. Like I said, it just evolved, and it was my portfolio, and then I had my friends on there, and they'd say, oh, well, we're having an art event, can you add this? And it just kind of evolved, and looking back, I don't think there's anything in the area like it that is kind of like the Walmart of art. There's a little bit of everything. There's supply. You can find the best supplies in town on there. I've researched those myself and went around and said, hey, these are the best places to get your campus.
So we have supplies and news and information and artists themselves and where you can buy art. And the website again is www.cooginsgallery.com, and you can find it too. So I want to see Artbeat on there now.
Oh, it will be on there, definitely. First page, send me a logo.
Our guest today has been the wonderful and colorful Jennifer Coogins, very talented, and we hope you've enjoyed Artbeat this week. If you have any ideas about what you'd like to see here, please email me at wkfk.com and let me know who you'd like to see right here on Artbeat, maybe next week. We'll see you then.